So welcome, and in this lesson we're going to be covering and mastering the topic of parallel construction, which is the rule that keeps lists and comparisons smooth, balanced, and friendly for the ACT. And by the end, you'll be able to spot mismatches instantly and fix them so that sentences read naturally and correctly. And the goal here is to just make rhythm your superpower. So why does parallel structure matter on the ACT, right? Parallel structure, first of all, is a very common ACT English type of question. And the errors usually hide in lists or comparisons, and they make sentences sound clunky or confusing. So if you learn this rule, you'll be able to spot mistakes quickly and also pick up super easy points. So then the first question that you might ask yourself is, what is parallel structure? What is this parallel construction, right? Parallel structure essentially means using the same grammatical form when listing or comparing things. It creates clarity, rhythm, and also correctness. And on the ACT, typically the wrong choice will often look fine until you notice the mismatch. So the ACT loves to hide the mistake in very subtle ways. You might have a list of like 3 items where only one choice is not correct. And so let's look at a quick example here to just get a sense of what this parallel construction is. So in this sentence here, you'll see that the first one that is crossed out says, she likes reading, to jog, and to cook. So clearly you can see that the forms, the verb forms that are being used here are not the same. So reading is present continuous. To jog is just a general, it's a general verb for like all times, frequently done activities. And then to cook is also, again, the similar idea. So you can see that there's a mismatch here in that the correct way to write this would be she likes reading, jogging, and cooking. Or similarly, another way to write it would be she likes to read, to jog, and to cook. So essentially, the first part mixes the noun and infinitives, and the second part uses the same form for every item, and it sounds right. Right. So that's that. And here, a rule of thumb is essentially to keep structures consistent. And so if you're using a form of a verb, just keep on always using the same form for all the items in a list. And what that means is matching verbs, phrases, clauses, and anything being compared. And also match the structure on both sides of the conjunctions, like not only and also, like but also, right? So here, some of the common ACT patterns that you'll see will include testing it on lists or series, so essentially 3 or more items. Testing it on comparisons, so more than, less than. Testing it on what are called correlative conjunctions, so where you'd say not only, and then you have a but also, either, or both, and, right? These are the things that you want to pair together. And then again, you would have these paired actions, like he likes to swim and biking. Again, correct version of this is he likes swimming and biking, or he likes to swim and to bike. So the first part is to just be aware of the verb forms, right? Again, we've used this example before. A verb form is the form of the verb, like the action. So just make sure that all of them match each other. Very simple example here again. I spent the weekend biking, swimming, and to relax. Immediately it sounds off, right? Because you started with biking, swimming, and now you're completely changing the form of the last verb. So the correct version for this is I spent the weekend biking, swimming, and relaxing. The other concept here is what are called the correlative conjunctions. And so, for example, when you're saying things like she is not only a talented singer, but also dances well. So these two things here are conjunctions, right? They connect together, and so the for example the things that come after them should also be matching in terms of if it's a noun, this one should be a noun. If it's a verb, this one should be a verb. So for example here, the mistake is that we are saying this talented singer is a noun, right? It's a noun, but also dances well. This is a verb. It doesn't sound right. Right? So grammatically, what is considered correct is to say she is not only a talented singer, but also a skilled dancer. So now you can see that these are now both nouns, um, and that's the correct way to write it. So again, let's look at some examples here. Similar thing. This is actually related to the verb forms. Very similar example to the one we had earlier. The camp offers hiking, to swim in the lake, and canoeing. Again, the incorrect version is this second item. The correct version would be the camp offers hiking, swimming in the lake, and canoeing. Right? And so, in summary, this idea of parallel construction is the idea that if you have lists and if you have comparisons, they should be following the parallel structure. And the way to ensure that is by checking for consistent verb forms and checking for symmetry after words like not only and then but also, or this either or part. And then the other last item would be logical matching of ideas. So those three items: lists, making sure that in the lists you have consistent verb forms, and you have symmetry after terms like not only and but also. Yeah. And so that is actually pretty much it for parallel construction. The recommendation, as always, is to practice with more of these questions on the site and the app. And the pro tip, or maybe the thing that you should remember the most, is that whenever you're in doubt, just read the sentence out loudly, or like rewrite the sentence in your head and listen for the rhythm. And if there's no rhythm, then it's clear that you would need to modify something so that they all sound the same and have a consistent rhythm. So that's that. I'll see you in the next lesson.